Good morning. It's time to get in touch. Brought to you by Geisinger, Muncy and Jersey Shore. State-of-the-art healthcare close to home. Every week, this public affairs show shines a spotlight on people and programs in our communities that improve the quality of life in Lycoming County and beyond. I'm Freddi Hammer, host of In Touch and news director at Backyard Broadcasting. Good morning and welcome to In Touch, where we bring together local leadership and the people that they serve. I'm honored to be joined with two dedicated public servants today representing our region with values, service, progress. First, we have Senator Gene Yaw. He's represented Pennsylvania's 23rd senatorial district since being elected in 2008. He covers Bradford, Lycoming, Sullivan, Tioga, and Union counties, and currently serves as the chair of the Senate Environmental Resources and Energy Committee. Welcome, Senator.
Glad to be here.
Hey, and joining him is Representative Joe Hamm. He's proudly served the 84th District in the Pennsylvania House since 2020. He represents parts of Lycoming and Sullivan counties, and his service includes time as a volunteer firefighter, borough manager of Jersey Shore, township supervisor, and at this time he holds seats on several key committees, including agriculture and rural affairs, energy, judiciary, transportation, and veterans affairs, along with emergency preparedness. Welcome, Representative Hamm.
Good morning.
We're going to be talking about the Senior Expo in Montoursville coming up September 18th, and you guys have been doing this quite a while. You're sort of experts now, aren't you, Senator?
Well, we'd like to think so.
I know that you're working hard to make sure that this is a great event for seniors, and we certainly want to know sort of the inspiration behind it.
The whole idea was to provide like a one-stop shop where people could come and get information about all kinds of services that are available in the county or in the region. We're not just limiting this to Lycoming County. I represent 5 counties, which you indicated, and Joe represents part of Lycoming County and Sullivan County. So senior citizens or anybody else who may be associated with the senior or think that they might, their parents or whatever, it's information. And there are a lot of state agencies going to be there, county facilities, private businesses, banks, you name it. But the idea is to provide a service to seniors. And Joe and I hear about it every year. Last year, I think we probably had the record crowd. It was somewhere between 700 and 800. And,
good.
You know, repeatedly we get thanked. Both of us get thanked. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for putting it together. And it was great. And so that's why we do it.
Tell me about the facility that can handle that many people that are there. It's in Montoursville again this year.
Yeah, so on September 18th, 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., it's a Thursday morning into the afternoon. We'll be at Community Baptist Church in Montoursville, out Route 87. A wonderful facility, a facility that has plenty of parking. It is easy to access, has a large venue for all of our vendors. And so we encourage our senior citizens or those who are taking care of their parents to come out and see what's out there for you. As the senator indicated, it's a one-stop shop, literally all kinds of different vendors there, local resources, programs that are out there to help our seniors. And, you know, the senator and I often get phone calls and stopped when we're out at events or stopped when we're in the grocery store or over at a ballpark. Wherever we are, folks want to know what help is out there for them. And so what we like to do is put on this Senior Expo each year, make it a one-stop shop, provide all of those resources that are out there, a lot of them, many of them being free resources.
Sure.
And so, you know, our encouragement to those who are thinking about attending or planning to attend is, I'll guarantee you there's one thing there for you.
Out of the 80.
Absolutely. Out of 80 vendors, you will find one thing that you can benefit from. There's no doubt in my mind. And so we just encourage folks to come out. As the senator indicated, record-breaking numbers last year, between 700 and 800 who attended. We'd really like to see that number continue to climb and increase because we want to make sure folks know what are those resources out there for.
I'm thinking that you have some new things that might be around. Are we just going with tried and true vendors and events and services out there this year?
Well, they're pretty much people that have repeat customers that have come back, but every year we have a few new ones that ask to come, and once they've been there and make contact with people.
I think that the car fit, wasn't that new last year?
I think the car fit was, and that's my understanding, that's about a 20-minute event to fit people in the car and make sure everything is adjusted properly and tell them how to do it. And that's an outdoor event. and we encourage people to take advantage of it.
I'm thinking you come out and you get a great parking spot and take the, a view around the vendors, maybe do stuff outside, and you can get coffee and muffins as well, I think, too.
Yeah, the coffee and muffins, I don't want people to misunderstand that that's a for-profit, that's a pay.
Sure.
We don't provide that for free. Probably we did not get that through our budget, but in any event. A couple of the other things that are there is North Central Site Services provide shredding.
That's great.
And, a couple of, that's a personal thing. We hope that no business comes and tries to take advantage of it.
Sure.
And the other thing which we started at the very beginning is the drug take back. So if you have old drugs and you don't know what they are, we don't encourage people to flush them down the toilet actually and put them in the water supply. They're better off bringing them. The sheriff will have a drop box and get rid of them. So that's one of the other services that is available.
And also you have veteran services, so there's all kinds of screenings and different things and questions to be answered for services for them.
There's no question about that. I mean, both Joe and I are veterans, so that is a big deal.
Absolutely.
And there's no other way to put it. The veteran services in Lycoming County is a very good operation, and we encourage people, if they have veterans questions, to come and ask.
There's going to be a vendor there, of course, that's going to be able to help them. You can direct them to the right spot. And these are things for the whole family as well. I mean, it's a senior expo, but if you're thinking about vacations or financial issues, would you say?
Yeah. So, again, one-stop shop. And that's what we want to hammer home today. It's a one-stop shop. You're going to have vendors from, as we indicated earlier, state and local agencies, but you're going to have healthcare vendors, assisted living facilities, long-term care facilities, home care products, elder law, financial services, insurance services, volunteer options, recreation and exercise, transportation and travel. It truly is a one-stop shop. But, some of the other things we like to do on top of the shredding, which is always a very popular spot to have your personal shredding that you need taken care of. Folks take advantage of that, and it always goes so well for us. And in this car fit where we're making sure folks are safe in their vehicle, and we want to make sure that they're set up properly in their vehicle. But there's also screenings and special services. So things like getting your blood pressure checked out, balance test, neuropathy scans, posture screening, spinal screening, vision screening. All of these things are there at Community Baptist Church in Montoursville, Thursday, September 18th. 9:30 to 1. And so that's all you have to do is show up. It is free. You come through the door. You can take all the resources you want with you. You could stop for 10 minutes or you could spend the whole 3-4 hours with us. Whatever you choose, it truly is up to you to take advantage of these resources we're providing.
When people come to the expo, it's an opportunity for them to kind of share their challenges with you. This is a great time for you to connect with your constituents.
It is, and one of the things we both talk about, all the vendors that are there and all the services that are there, and I think that probably we overlook the two most important ones, us. We will both be there, and so try to greet people when they come, and if they have questions, relating to anything that we can do, that's fine. Joe will be there, I will be there, both of our staffs will be there.
With all the answers.
Wow.
Most of the answers.
We may not have answers, but usually we can find some place to go that the person that has the right answer.
So the challenges that the seniors have, they can share with you. They can come on by, get a cup of coffee from Foxton Coffee, get their car fit stuff going on out there. What is it that you look forward to the most? I know you probably do like talking with your constituents, but is there anything that you've particularly gotten?
I think you hit the nail on the head. And people thanking us for doing it. And, we started doing it, and I did it with Representative Everett.
Yeah.
And it was just the idea of, we need to have this place or at this event where people can come and they have 75 or 80 vendors that they can talk to or look at, and to be thanked for collecting all these people and having that available to people. the number of people that thank us for doing it is overwhelming, and that's probably what makes it really go.
I'm so glad that you can help them. There's a lot of things coming forward. You had the broadband expansion going on, and I know that came down to some legislation. That must help seniors, too, because they're kind of transitioning into telehealth and different things like that, so they need the online broadband work and Wi-Fi in their area.
No question about it, and for rural Pennsylvania, broadband is a major issue for me. Look, quite honestly, the expense involved in getting broadband to everybody in rural Pennsylvania is a challenge, and I just want to make sure that rural Pennsylvania does not end up with the short end of the stick. Some of the things that go on, a lot of the money that's distributed is through what are called competitive grants.
Okay.
Which right off the bat, that puts rural Pennsylvanians at a disadvantage. An awful lot of our entities, I have 168 municipalities in my district.
Wow. And,
some of them, they don't have the resources to be able to apply for some of these grants. And if it's a, quote, competitive grant, it means you rely on how well the grant is written. Well, if you don't have a professional grant writer, you are at an extreme disadvantage.
Okay.
That's one of my concerns about every time I hear competitive grants. And so we've worked with a lot of counties. Some of the counties are helping the municipalities with that, and that's good. But I'm still just a little bit worried. It sounds like, I forget the number, is $1.2 or $1.6 billion is going to be available to Pennsylvania for broadband.
Okay.
One of my constituents, Tri-County Rural Electric, has spent over $100 million in serving. I think that they have 19,000 or around 20,000 customers. Do the math. The numbers don't work. It sounds like a lot of money available, but when you look at
when you spread it out,
what the real cost is, I'm really afraid of what's happening to rural Pennsylvania.
I think also hand in hand there's more energy used in IT than we realize, and that's also sort of a thing that you're worried about as far as making sure that we have all the energy that we need as far as natural gas and the different things.
We could talk all day about how much energy we need and what the issues are out there with AI and everything like that. No question about it. That's a huge subject. And once again, I'm worried about what's happening in rural Pennsylvania.
Representative Hamm, I'm curious about your role as far as things that have happened in rural Pennsylvania. What are the different things in your district that you are concerned about? I'm sure it's hand in hand with the senator.
Yeah, so I'm blessed with the opportunity to serve a district that overlaps with Senator Yaw, and so he is our senator in all parts of my House district. While he serves over 168 communities, I have 55 municipalities. So, our House districts are a little smaller than the Senate district, but my district in total is larger than the state of Rhode Island. So it's a very large area, very rural, and many of the same issues. Broadband access, not only for our seniors with telehealth and getting appointments faster by using telehealth. A lot of our seniors like to go into the doctor's office, though. They want to be seen in person, but there are those who want to take advantage of telehealth, and so we want to make sure they have reliable broadband access to be able to do that. Obviously, we want to make sure when someone turns on the light switch that the lights come on. And so energy is such an important topic and one that, certainly the senator has been a leader on. And he's led the charge for us here in Pennsylvania and continues to lead that charge. And, both of us are obviously concerned with some of what we're seeing heading here into the future. But we want to make sure that we're doing things that benefit the people of Pennsylvania. And so, my message is always clear. I want people to keep more of their money in their pocket, give less of it to government. And I think we can do that. I want to make sure our veterans are taken care of. They've sacrificed so much for this country, and we got to make sure that they're not the ones sitting there in need. And so there are so many programs for veterans, but we got to help them access those resources, which is, again, why this expo is such a great place for folks to stop. EMS and fire coverage is one of the things that really concern me and something that I have been leading the charge on since getting into the House of Representatives. And that's, when someone calls 911, we want to make sure help gets to them fast. And right now, our volunteers are shrinking in number. And so, in the 1980s, we had over 350,000 volunteers across Pennsylvania. Today, that number's estimated around 35,000. We have 13 million people in Pennsylvania and only 35,000 volunteers. And so it's a major concern for us. when people call 911, someone shows up quickly to help them. And so those are topics that, are really important to me, things that I'm working on in the house to make it easier. We've got to make it easier for those who serve to do the job that they do. We've got to kind of peel back some of the red tape that gets in the way at times and just make it easier to do their job. They want to go help people. Let's let them go help people.
These are the kind of questions that people can ask when you come to the Senior Expo on Thursday, September 18th, 9:30 to 1 at Community Baptist Church. If people can't come, can they call your office and ask these same questions or ask about the resources that you provided?
They can always call our offices. We're readily available. We're open. We have people staffing the phones. They don't get an answering machine, so sure, call.
If you wanted to email Senator Yaw, gyaw at pasen.gov. And how about you, Representative Hamm? What's your email address that we can get a hold of you?
Yeah, so it's jhamm, Hamm, at pahousegop.com. So jhamm at pahousegop.com. And much to my staff's demise, I answer all my own emails. So if you email me, you will get a response. And certainly I always appreciate the opportunity to have dialogue with my constituents. That's how we know how to serve you best, is when we hear from you and we hear your concerns. And a lot of times that's where we get ideas for legislation. Our constituents come to us with a concern, an issue, a problem, and they bring it to us, and then we start working on that. So a lot of times it's those conversations, those emails that allow us to do what's best for the people. And so certainly we always look forward to having that dialogue.
We have the vendors, and there's also services. So not necessarily just medical services. I mean, there's information about finances, and there's information about vacations and post-life planning, all those different things.
As a senior, you might think about nutrition. I know that there are some vendors there that specialize in nutrition, posture. I remember seeing that, posture evaluations, things like that. So
even the SPCA going to be out there if you need a friend.
SPCA will be there. Actually, the Attorney General's office, I think that, if I'm not mistaken, the Fish and Boat Commission, I think Department of Motor Vehicles, across the board. If the person can't find the right agency there, they can always talk to either Joe or myself or one of our staff members, and we'll point them or make arrangements for them to talk to the right people.
I wanted to circle back around for the unclaimed property with the Treasurer Stacey Garrity. That was exciting. And is there still opportunities to find the stuff that they didn't get out for the first time?
Absolutely. We can help them follow up on that.
Okay. And congratulations to Stacey Garrity about her new run, of course, getting her hat into the ring for the gubernatorial race this year.
Yes, that'll be interesting because I have a personal interest, obviously. Stacey Garrity is a constituent of mine.
She's great, from Bradford County, and a combat veteran as well. So thank you to her and you each to have your services that you put forth for this country. Thank you so much. We're excited to have the Senior Citizens Expo Thursday, September 18th. And, of course, all spearheaded here with Senator Yaw as well as Representative Hamm. Anything else that we need to cover before you guys get on out of here? We just want to make sure everybody's welcome between 9:30 and 1 at Community Baptist Church on September 18th.
Yeah, I think just to finish up on a note that, it's a one-stop shop. And we truly believe that there's something there for everyone. And so we encourage you to come out, whether it's 10 minutes, an hour, or you spend the whole day with us. We encourage you to come out, find out what's out there. There are a lot of free resources, a lot of free programs out there that can help our seniors. And so we want to make sure we bring those to you. You can only find out about them if you're at our Senior Expo. So we really encourage folks to come out. Let's break another record this year. Let's get over 800. Let's push 1,000. Just a quick reminder that the doors will not open until 9:30. We know that folks are excited to get in, and some folks want to be there first in line, and that's great. We appreciate that. But understand that we cannot open those doors till 9:30 a.m. because our vendors are still setting up. And they know that the doors open at 9:30, so we want to make sure they're actually prepared for folks when they come through the door. So if you stand in line at 8:30, you're going to be standing there an hour. So we would just encourage you to really come in close to 9:30 because that's when the doors will open. That way you're not stuck outside. We don't control the weather, so if it's raining, whatever it may be doing that day, certainly we don't want you out in the rain for over an hour. Again, 9:30 to 1 p.m. on Thursday, September 18th at Community Baptist Church in Montoursville, and we really look forward to having you.
Anything else you'd like to add, Senator Yaw?
Some of the issues that you brought up about rural Pennsylvania. I chair an organization called Center for Rural Pennsylvania. It's bipartisan, bicameral. I won't quiz people as to, the meaning of that bipartisan, but bicameral means they're both House and Senate members involved in that. And we have studied virtually every issue that's been mentioned here today. And the purpose of the Center for Rural Pennsylvania is to look at rural issues and study rural issues, what affects rural Pennsylvania. So we have done extensive reports on broadband. We've done extensive reports on EMS. We've done reports on prisons, anything that affects rural Pennsylvania. So when we talk about putting together a senior expo to serve rural Pennsylvania, there's a little bit of knowledge and background as to why we need these things, why we need to do some of the things. We even had one of the broadband studies that the center did actually resulted in some changes with the Federal Communications Commission as to how they count service in rural Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It is a big deal, and we have some knowledge to put together what's needed and as far as what the requirements are to live and work in rural Pennsylvania.
Thank you for putting it all together and doing the research with your people. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
So the Senior Expo, September 18th, that's a Thursday, 9:30 to 1. Get there right around 9:30, of course, and you can always get details on the website, senatorjeanyaw.com, repjoehamm.com as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today on In Touch.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In Touch is locally produced in our studios at 1685 4 Mile Drive in Williamsport. To get in touch with us for questions, comments, or topic ideas, call weekdays 570-323-8200 or email me at fhammer@backyardbroadcasting.com. For archived files of our In Touch shows, find our Backyard Podcasting link on any Backyard Broadcasting website or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Backyard Broadcasting. The programming discussed here on In Touch does not necessarily reflect the feelings or opinions of the management or staff. Thanks for listening to In Touch, brought to you by Geisinger, Muncy and Jersey Shore. State-of-the-art healthcare close to home.